CELPIP speaking is a hard module. Let's just admit that. A lot of people struggle to get 9, 10, or higher in CELPIP speaking. You gotta challenge yourself on a lot of things, and they are a lot. Grammar, vocab, task response, timing, and so on. The best way, though, you can learn and improve is by understanding what it takes to score an 11 or 12. And I'm going to do my samples here that'll show you exactly what kind of level you need to have to score that. Now, if you don't have this level, don't worry. You can make a few more mistakes. You'll go down to 10 and 9. A lot of people need 9. So if you're one of them, that's okay. You don't have to speak exactly like I do, but you have to copy the best elements to the best of your abilities based on the way I speak, and I'm going to show you some samples in a few minutes. First, I'm going to talk about a lot of great things that you need to understand before you do this exam environment, mindset, attitude, and so on. So when you go into the exam, and this is highly important for first-time test takers, when you are speaking, other people will be speaking as well. You are not alone in that room. So when you practice at home, when you do your speaking answers, turn on news in the background. You want to practice with distractions because in the real exam, you have distractions as well. Okay, so be prepared for that. Secondly, the headphones you get are not noise cancellation. So no, it will not cancel the noise from people around you. So again, be prepared for that. Thirdly, you get this question in front of you. Talk about one of your best friends. Now, this is not marked. This is the first question you get. It is a practice question. This is important though, because you want to speak. You have just done listening, reading, and writing, and you haven't spoken for a while. This is your chance to warm up your tongue, and don't hesitate to do so. The best performers and singers and debaters do this too. They do a warm-up exercise for their tongue. So you got to do it. Just speak anything, say anything here in the first 60 seconds. You will not be marked. This question is, again, every time, talk about one of your best friends, and it will tell you that this is a practice question. Okay? So once that is done, now you're warmed up. Now we're going to get to the first question, and this is the suggestion question. If you want to know the template for this, you can check out the link in the description. It includes a video on speaking templates for CELPIP. Our course, CELPIP 15-hour self-paced course, also comes with the most advanced, updated, and the most detailed explanations of the templates of writing and speaking, as well as a lot of tips and tricks on all modules. That is a must-do course before your exam if you want to guarantee your success. Link is in the description. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that in the first question, you got to do 3 points within 90 seconds, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to start my timer. One final thing before I do, look at my posture. I'm leaned back. Just by this 2-inch lean back position, you can change your points by a lot. Leaning back keeps you relaxed. It keeps you confident. And when you don't make mistakes out of nervousness, you avoid mistakes like stuttering, forgetting things, missing time, losing focus, and so much more. Plus, you have marks for the tone. So speaking at a steady volume and steady pace, as well as having expressions, is highly important, and that'll come if you are relaxed. Okay, lean back, it takes out the nervousness away, and the microphone is going to be attached to the headset, so you don't have to lean forward to speak on the microphone. Also, if you screw it up in the middle of your speaking, keep leaning back. A lot of people I notice, they go like this when they make a mistake, and that's because they got nervous. Don't do that. Just keep relaxed and confident. Now let's get started. I'm not going to take my preparation time. I'm going to get started. Question is your friend's first time cooking on her own? Advise her on how to cook. Okay, give her cooking advice. Now, remember when you're reading the question, another tip to know is the preparation time starts when you start reading the question. So you wouldn't have enough time to really prepare your points. In fact, even if you do come up with 3 points in the remaining time, you will forget them when you speak. This happens to everybody. So you don't even have to think about it. You have to think about your friend, okay? You have to think about a real person who you would give this advice to. Because if you're naturally speaking, you don't take notes. You don't take preparation time. Points come to you as you speak. That is a skill you want to learn in the CELPIP speaking module, especially in this question. Let's get started. We'll keep it informal. It is important to do so because there are marks for tone-specific situations. This is informal and will be informal as well. Let's get started. I'm going to use my timer right here. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? I'm excited. I'm thrilled actually to learn that you are getting into the world of cooking. It's an exciting journey, but full of pitfalls, as you can imagine. I know that's why you contacted me. Look, there are a bunch of things you can do. Firstly, there is a plethora of information, needless to say, for free on YouTube that you can use to your advantage. There are videos on every cuisine from every culture that'll perfect your cooking skills no matter how novice you are at this game. Secondly, if you want to buy or borrow my cooking recipe book, and I know that's why you contacted me, no problemo. I have all the recipes listed here from generations of our cooking experts and chefs in the family, which is why we are famous for the food and catering services we provide. Hence, just reach out, not a problem. I'll give you a discount too if you're nice to me. Just kidding. Let's go to the third and final suggestion I got for you. Learn from your mom. Your mom is an excellent cook. I came last week and she fed me this amazing butter chicken that was just out of this world. Her skills are top notch. Not utilizing her in your learning journey would be a mistake. So if you want an impeccable cooking journey, please listen to my advice and let me know what you think. Okay. All right. I loved everything about that. Just the last thing I did was I said so. I didn't like that. I wanted to use hence or therefore. Now it's a problem too because when it's informal, you should avoid words like therefore or thereby because it's informal. So you would use so. But again, CELPIP examiners don't like so because it's too basic. I could have said that's why or overall would have been a very good word. So that's the only regret I got. But other than that, you can see my tone was very natural. I did my 3 points, finished on time, used fancy words. I used a lot of adjectives to describe the mom, our cooking experience, our cooking skills, and talking about the journey of this lady. Like she's having some difficulties. I use words like pitfalls. You're facing pitfalls. That's where you're contacting me. Those are great things, and they give depth to your description because you're painting a picture. You're not just doing a plain description. Hey, open a recipe book. It has these steps, follow these steps. Or it's not something simple like take a frying pan, put some onions, put this. It has to paint a picture because the examiner is not really looking for the answer. The examiner's looking at how colorfully you can paint a picture and describe this answer using a range of vocab, which happens when you use adjectives, qualities. And to make it simple for you, just use real-life descriptions. You will also get marks for this because it's appropriate to the tone. It is natural, and that's what I was doing here. I was talking about my cooking ancestry and with this lady, the difficulty she's facing, her mom, as if we know each other. And when you do this, so that's one thing you keep in mind. You do this, you keep in mind you got to do adjectives, and you follow the structure. The 3 points, that's in the template. The template is in the description. When you follow these points, everything else comes in naturally. All right? And throughout, you got to keep thinking, how you could use better words. Like when I said mistakes, I was thinking at the end to put the word impeccable somehow, and that's what I did. So sometimes you got to force the words and phrases. You got to make sure you use advanced words and complex sentences. So whenever you get a chance to do them, please do. All right? Let's go to the next question. In this question, the first sentence is all you need to read. Okay? Question number 2, just read the first sentence. I'll show you why. Talk about a time when you faced a terrible weather situation. Okay, fine. I can talk about a thunderstorm we had. Now let's look at this one. It says, you may talk about a natural disaster, an inconvenient weather scenario, or the weather's effect on your... Do I need to read that? No. It's always useless detail in the next few sentences. The last sentence sometimes says, explain why this was an important event or a situation or whatever. If you simply explain that, that will happen automatically. Okay, all you got to do is look at the first sentence. I'm also saying this because you only have 30 seconds. Okay, you don't have time to read all of this, and it's always a big question for some reason. So, okay, it's just a terrible weather situation. Remember, you got to do 2 to 4 points here, an intro and a conclusion, and that's it. Okay, so if you do more points, you will not be able to finish them in 60 seconds. And if you do, you will be doing quantity points instead of quality points. you want to make sure you have a few points that are described well instead of having several points that are not explained properly. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to reset my timer. Terrible weather situation. All right. Unfortunately, I have been on the receiving end of several extremely horrific weather situations living in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is known as Winterpeg as well, the capital of snow mountains, as well as the winters here. One such time was when we had a big thunderstorm, which was not even a mixture of rain and snow. It was pretty much ice petals falling down on us, raining havoc on the city of Winnipeg. This was especially terrifying because it was actually breaking windshields of cars, and I had to be driving that day, unfortunately. Finally, the situation became worse when cars started sliding all over the city, causing for a mass pile of accidents, cars, trucks, all sorts of vehicles. It was a terrible situation. I'm glad we're not going to face that, at least in the next few days. That's it. Okay, so we got, I think, 2 or 3 points here. We talked about the situation. I set it up very nicely, talking about how it was an unfortunate event, and that happens because we're in Winnipeg. This is actually true, by the way. So we are at the receiving end of all these situations. Again, showing a very realistic scenario. It's easy to talk about that as well. Everybody would have their own set of forecasts or weather conditions that they can explain. So first I painted the picture, then I went on to describing it, explained what happened in that scenario, used some good adjectives, and finished it up with a good conclusion, which is kind of humorous if you didn't get it, that at least in the next few days we are okay, because it can change very quickly. So that's it. And again, use a good mixture of words and phrases, be clear, steer away from grammar mistakes, use advanced vocab, and really you don't have to do more than 2 to 4 points. That's all. And you can see I did that and it finished so quick. 60 seconds go here quick. All right, let's go to the next one. We're going to reset the time. You don't even have to read the question here. It's always describe the picture. So just see the picture in 30 seconds. What you got to pick, guys, is 3 to 4 things that you want to describe. And usually it would not be things that are back here. Okay, I hope you can see my mouse. Let's do this thing. These are not the things that are here in the background, okay? You want to mainly focus on things that are in front, because these are the things that examiners would focus on as well. You can obviously point out a few things in the background, but the 3 or 4 main things you would select would be somewhere in the front, okay? So I'm going to look at this lady. It looks like she's having some hard time. Of course, we're going to talk about this cake, and we're going to talk about the crowd here on the left-hand side in general. Those would be my 3 points. That I will say for sure. Later on, if I have time, I will use other people as well, and I could describe the background to the walls, and it looks like a house setting, and so on. Make sure to use good connectors here. That's a problem that a lot of people face. They don't connect because it's usually this person is doing this person is doing that. So make sure you use connectors. Furthermore, likewise, moreover, make sure to use adjectives to describe what the person is doing and how. Are they doing it excitedly? Are they frustrated? And so on. So you want to add life into this picture. It's not just describing what's happening. Plus, use a wide range of vocabulary, complex sentences, intro and conclusion as well. Let me just show you how to do it. Let's get started. This picture seems to be a very jolly scene of a birthday party, an expensive one if I may add. I say this because in the center you have, I think, what is called a chocolate fondue, but I would just call it a mountain of chocolate and diabetes. Obviously around it you got lots of kids surrounding the cake or the fountain just to grab the first bite. However, towards the foreground we see a lady who looks frustrated. Maybe the kids are getting too greedy, or in this case, a parent is also a little too obnoxious, as it may appear. Towards the left-hand side, we can see a mixture of adults as well as teenagers and little kids. Towards the background, we have more things happening with people probably getting into their plates of cake or getting the plates ready just to grab big bites of that cake or fountain. Overall, it's a great picture full of fun and joy, however, some frustration as well. That's it. I didn't like here that I stuttered a little bit. I said a few ums, and that will impact my mark. So this will not be a 12 or 11. I think this will be a 10. It's very quick. There's no grammar mistake I made. I did a very good description using words like jolly, frustrated, good adjectives, 3 to 4 points, and intro and conclusion. So it looks like a perfect speaking, right? But just those, I think 2 or 3 ums that I did, that will bring me down to 10 or 11, most likely. We cannot just make any mistakes here. When you talk about a level 12, it's perfection, and any mistakes quickly bring you down. But again, use good connectors. I used the word obviously. That's on purpose. Anything with least will give you marks, okay? Those are adverbs. Obviously, conspicuously, slowly, gradually. Anything that describes the verb and adverb, which is the li, will help you get more marks, as well as adjectives, which is why I have focused on that. And you can see the things I circled were the things I said first. And I didn't just say that this lady looks frustrated, for example. I explained she looks frustrated because kids are gathered around because it's a delicious fountain, and so on, right? So you got to make sure you explain your points. However, you don't have to all the time. Obviously, when I talked about these people here, I just said it's a mixture of adults, teens, and young people. So you can't always explain things, but the more you do, the better, with respect to the time. Okay, let's move on. In this picture, what do you think happens next? Again, a mistake here that people make is they just say this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. That's okay. Just make sure you do 2 changes there. One is this will probably happen, or this may happen, because remember, you're predicting. And the second thing is give reasons behind it. Why would this happen? Why do you think that would happen? And use adjectives, adverbs, good range of vocab to define that. And again, keep 3 to 4 points. Easiest thing to do is the 3 points you had, or the 4 points you had at the start, just use them and say what's going to happen next from those points. Let me show you exactly how to do this. So let's start my timer, and let's go now. In this picture, what I think will probably happen next is the lady in the foreground is probably going to get really frustrated because she does not seem to be calming down anytime soon. When this happens, she may push the kids a little bit just to enforce some decorum. However, this is for sure going to upset the parent and probably will lead to some shouting and screaming. Nonetheless, towards the background, I think it's going to get even worse because there are a lot of enthusiastic kids around the fountain that may push it in any direction anytime soon. People who are going to be at the receiving end of that direction are not going to be pleased at all. When the situation turns chaotic, I am sure the people in the background or towards the left are also going to pay notice to what's happening. I believe they will be in a state of shock. That's an unfortunate scene that I have described here, but I truly believe that may transpire in the next few minutes. Okay, all right. You see, here's another thing. The benefit of finishing 5 seconds in advance, because I always try to finish 5 seconds in advance, is you are ready. If you have to add more words, you can. So I always target 55 seconds when it's a minute of speaking time. And if I'm able to finish at 55, I'll just add more words if I'm comfortable to make it better, and I can finish at 58, 59. But if I target 60 seconds, I won't have that luxury. So that's another tip for you. Again, just a few points you have to mention and just describe them well. Here I did 3. I did this lady, talked about how she's going to get frustrated, what she will do, she will push people, and then what's going to happen. Parents might get upset. I used words like probably and this may happen, not that it will happen, okay? And it's not just this will happen, but I explained what will happen, painting a picture. Did the same thing with the people here in the background near the cake. Finally, I did the same thing with the people on the left, just grouped them all together and just said they'll look at us, at everybody else in a state of shock. So using words like shock, frustrated, and these people will not be pleased, all those words, those adjectives keep giving me marks after marks after marks. I think I used a connector. Maybe I said furthermore, or I said nonetheless when I moved back from foreground to the background. Then when I moved to the left, I did not use a connector. I used when. I think I said that. When this happens, then this will happen, which is a complex sentence. Any sentence that starts with the word when is a complex sentence. So that's going to give me marks as well. So guys, you can see the first thing is you got to make sure you have no grammar mistakes. That's just 100% important. If you do make grammar mistakes, please contact us. We provide tutoring, coaching on English language, CELPIP, and anything related to the CELPIP exam. We'll help you improve your grammar, vocabulary, all those things. Okay, so first thing is you work on that. Then when you speak, it's not just about speaking. You got to follow the CELPIP rules, timing, description of the question. Great vocabulary usage is important. Range of vocab is important. And this video, these samples show you exactly how to do all those things. So review it, play it again, because there's lots of information here that is key, and you should implement that. I will upload another video, maybe this week or the next, with the next set of questions. The other 4 are going to be coming soon. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Please check out our course if you want a money-back guarantee on a 9+ guaranteed. All right, check it out in the description. We'll talk very soon. Take care.